Well, welcome to the Sean Trey Show. I have a really awesome guest with me. Now, would you like to introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do?
Hello, so my name is Antoni Villoni. I'm 29 years old. I'm living in France, south of France, so mostly sunny place. And I'm riding bicycle and doing base jump. I love doing videos I'm an athlete, but it's my job is more to do video and go where some people never been before.
Yeah. Your videos are amazing. I love watching your Instagram because base jumping is something that I've always wanted to try. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where to start. I don't know. It's something that. How did you get started with base jumping?
So basically, that's my child. So I just managed to make everything good to get to base jumping. So I started doing skydive, and then I did a bit of jump, and then when I get to 100 jump, I started, and it's not enough, but I was like, okay, then COVID were here, and I was like, I don't wanna go to skydive with all these rules anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna start base jumping now. And then I contact a guy that was a teacher, and then he was my mentor, and then we started together. I mean, he taught me how to base jump. It's a course. It's basically a course that you have to go to someone who is already base jumping and who is a teacher or with a really good friend, and then he's gonna teach you.
That's awesome.
That's a
now
close sport.
Is it easy to get into? I mean, let's talk about. So you started with skydiving, and when you started skydiving, did you always want to try skydiving, or was this something that, as you got older, you're like, hey, I want to try this? When did you first want to start skydiving?
Oh, since I was a kid. I love extreme sports, so since I am kids, I want to try always to go bigger, higher, longer. It's
nice.
I started skydiving, but I knew it was for base jump.
You knew you were going there.
Yeah. I didn't say it to anyone because, teacher, when you say at the skydive zone, at the drop zone, if you say I start skydiving to base jump, they think you are crazy. And I was like, no, I know what to do. I know. I did this with a lot of sports, so. I wanna just make the good way and get into it safe.
Yes,
so that's why I started skydive, and I was having so much fun getting lessons and everything. But in my mind, it was like, you're gonna do skydive, and one day you're gonna do wingsuit.
That's what I want to try so much. I want to try. Are you doing wingsuit flying yet?
Not yet, because that's me. For me, that's the ultimate goal. Like when you're doing extreme sports, and I just wanna. As I said, I'm only 29 years old, and
you have time, man.
I have tons of time, and I wanna enjoy what I can enjoy now, doing. So slick jump is basically when you are wearing normal clothes. Yeah. So it's jumping like this, and already on high jump, trying to slide on the air already with normal clothes. And then if you are good at it, you're gonna be even better at a wingsuit. So that's why I wanna just have fun now. Learn how to base jump normally, and then after I will do what I need to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now tell me, tell me about the first time you jumped out of an airplane. What did it feel like?
Nothing crazy. Like
Nothing crazy.
No, it's because so basically all my friends are scared, and so there is two things. All my friends did skydive with someone behind them.
The tandem. Yeah.
Yeah, the tandem, first time. And they're like, when I was at the exit, I was so scary. But that's normal. When you do tandem, you're like this, you just do nothing. You do nothing.
Yeah, you're
waiting. And then your life is in the hand of someone else. And I didn't do it. I didn't want it to do tandem. My first jump was alone with a teacher, two teachers behind around me, but I was by myself.
Nice.
And the thing is, there is two kind of people. There are the people who, when they're in the rush or with the adrenaline, they're getting scary, and they don't do they're like this. Or there are other people, and I count myself in this category. It's like scary moment, just like relax, find a way. And then when I get out, I was like, okay, I just do what they told me to do. Wait for the hair I can feel the hair and then do whatever I want after it. So when you get out, you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about the rules and what they learn you during the lessons. In the morning, you have like a classroom, and they tell you, well, you have to do this, and then you jump, and then you do. If you do the exact good thing, that's gonna be so good.
There you go. That's awesome. Man.
As you focus your brain on something, you are not scared. You're not scared.
You made a good point there. That's something I like. There's two types of people, and I've noticed this. I remember once. And I count myself in that other category too, because I remember once, and I've always my whole life been like this. Like there was a car accident, and a car flipped over and went into a river. And the car was in the river, slowly sinking. And there was about 20 people standing next to the river looking at the car. Just standing.
Just go for it.
Looking.
Like, just don't think.
Looking. And I pulled over, I jumped out of my car, I ran down into the river, and I'm looking for something to break the window. And suddenly I look up and people are like, and there was a guy with golf clubs, and I yelled at someone, I said, give me something to break the window. And a guy gave me a golf club, and I hit it twice, and then I just put my hand in the car, I felt a hand grab mine, and I pulled. And I pulled the guy out, and then all these people were like and then suddenly they all woke up. When they saw the guy come out, they helped him out, but everyone was frozen. Yeah, and I've seen this like a couple times.
When you're scary, they don't move.
They just freeze. Yeah, they freeze. And I'm not judging that. I think for me, it was because I studied martial arts. I studied judo, Yeah. And when I studied judo, when you go into martial arts, I was always afraid, every fight I was afraid, but you still have to do it. You trained, you're ready, and I think that's what helped me. That's really interesting. Now, were you always that way, or did you learn it?
I was afraid of heights when I was young.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It just, so for me, the worst thing on earth is addiction. And something you can't get out.
Yes.
Like, by example, cigarettes or like sugar or even adrenaline. Like when I tell them stop cigarettes, and they're like, yeah, but that's hard. It's like if I was asking you stop adrenaline. I can't stop for a move doing whatever. I'm working on my computer. I always, when I have video project, I work on my computer for one month without doing anything. And then they're like, I'm like, I stopped base jumping and mountain bike for 1 month, and when you stop cigarette, I can't. And I'm like, so you are not controlling your brain. It's like it control you. And that's the same. When I was young, I was afraid of heights, and I was like, okay, then I don't want to have this thing because one day I want to do crazy shit. So I started going to the sea, and like doing cliff jumping. And then I was always going higher and higher and higher. And then before going, I was like watching the water until my leg were shaking. Like I was totally scary. And then after I was like, and then going. I jumped every time. Like just to feel the scare. I was scary, and then to obligate my brain to do something I wanted, and then after he seen that nothing happened. I was not injured. Everything is gonna be good. And if you know it, it's good. It's like kids when they fall once, they cry, and then after they fall twice, and then if they don't hurt themselves, they're like, okay, you can fall, and then you don't hurt yourself, so you can do stuff. That's the same. I did boogie jumping, and I was like, the guy was like, hey guy, I did like jump because you're not gonna jump anymore if you wait too much. Guy, I did like jump because you're not gonna jump anymore if you wait too much. Like, let me do. And then I was like shaking so much, and then I jumped.
I remember.
Just the way
I remember when I was in college, we had this one bridge everyone would jump off of, and it was pretty high, man. And I remember I went out there at night and I couldn't see the water. And so I jumped, and I remember like before I jumped though, like you said, my legs were everything was shaking. But then the second you jump, there was this sense of peace. It was just like, and the thing I recognized as I was like, I jumped and I was like, I'm still falling. And it was just like, it was so high. Like my brain was like, I'm still falling. And then I hit the water and I came up, and it was just like, you never feel so alive. Like it was so alive at that moment. And I was like, and I've always wanted to do base jumping, but I'm still scared of heights. But I gotta try someday, man. You've inspired me. But first, I need to skydive first.
Yeah. You can't imagine. I've been doing. I started. So you always start base jumping from bridges, and after, so you do the course on bridges, and after you go on a wall, cliff. And then when I get into the cliff, on the side of the cliff, I was like, whoa. That was the same. That was actually the same. Yeah. If you fall on both, you're gonna die. But just the feeling. And then, then I went for it. And I had to say to my mentor, chill out. I'm scary. Chill out because, I don't know why I'm scary. And he say, okay, let's chill. And then after I jumped, but it was fucking scary. I don't know why.
There was this well, the movie just came out, the Dune movie, right? And one of the lines, it's good. I love the book. I just was rereading the book before. I love the movie. But there's a line in there where, in the character, and there's this one line that they say, fear is the mind killer. Fear is the mind killer. And that's one of the things you notice in life. And this is something that I think happens to anyone, whether it be a new job, whether it be, talking to a beautiful woman or man, it's like, there's,
because you're scared.
What do you have to lose, Still go for it. Exactly, right? Now,
Exactly. I'm doing this for sports, not much for girls.
I
I'm too
understand
scary
that
of
too.
it. Still.
I
That's the one I don't want to control. I'm like, dude, I always
yeah.
push my share on this one.
Well,
And
what other
I'm good.
sports? When you were younger, you didn't start with skydiving and base jumping, so you're also like a professional mountain biker, right?
Yeah. I'm professional mountain biker. I just do base jump for fun.
For
Actually.
fun, and now I've seen some of these videos you post, and one of the things that one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you was because I've been fascinated by these downhill mountain biking videos, and one of the videos that is so amazing to me is the downhill in Chile, the Valparaiso. Like I
No,
watched
it's
that.
not Valparaiso. It was if it's on my profile, it's even Puerto Vallarta in Mexico,
Yes. That was
there
it.
is one in Colombia.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing, man! It's like so amazing. Now, how did you start doing this mountain biking? How did you find mountain biking?
So basically, I started doing sport by judo. And
You're judo. Oh, awesome.
yeah,
Also,
football, judo. That helped me a lot to crash, like to hit the ground.
yes.
Yeah, you learn how to fall. You learn how to fall in judo.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta know how to fall.
After I did a bit of swimming pool, so judo, football, swimming pool. I don't know how to say swimming pool in like
Just
sport.
swimming. Yeah, yeah.
And after when I was like 11, I started BMX and cross country, mountain bike cross country.
Nice.
And then one day, so I knew a bit how to jump because of the BMX, and I was doing like a lot of kilometers doing cross country.
Yeah.
And then once I had a course with the mountain bike, and then I was going through a place with some jump, and then I went to jump with the mountain bike, and I said, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And then I started doing jump on the mountain bike. And then after I did a freestyle mountain bike career, I started like doing like a lot of freestyle and double flips and stuff like this.
It's awesome.
And then after I went to free ride mountain bike, like going a bit everywhere, doing some bike park.
Yeah.
And then I switched a bit to enduro, and then now I'm still doing everything. Like
awesome.
In mountain bike, I do freestyle, enduro, downhill, free ride. Like urban downhill is what I prefer in terms of downhill, because
so cool.
Like, there's one crazy thing in this thing. That's the first thing you do when you do mountain bike. Every kid's riding the streets, and they are not allowed. And then we are allowed to do it in a massive city with like so many stairs and people around, and they're not gonna scream on you. You can do whatever. That's your place. That's your course.
It's awesome. It's so awesome. That was like what I've always loved about like the race. You see race cars driving in the oval or like that. But I've always loved the Grand Prix, like the where they're racing through the streets or rally driving. I mean, like that's so cool because we're not allowed to do that normally. You know what I mean? And so the idea of where you can race in a place that it's never allowed is just so cool. Because I mean, think about that. Like,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Basically, that's what all people do, and why there's accident. They want to have like the feeling on doing like speed on normal road. Mm-hmm. That's why like everyone want to do it. Everybody. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why, and that's why the famous Isle of Man. The
Isle of Man,
like, motorbike.
Yeah. And
This one is
fly
crazy.
through that. It's like if you see the speed people normally drive on the Isle of Man, it's slow, you know, every day.
Yeah.
But those motorcycles, they just, you know, the videos, they fly by.
Crazy.
It's insane speed, and it's like the amount, like those. You guys as well. The idea, the reaction time that people have to have, like the speed you have to react, is so fast. It's amazing.
Yeah, and for this thing, it's everyone has his own way. Like
Yeah.
some are like, okay, I'm gonna do safe and be able to control from start to finish. Some guys are like, okay, then I go, and then I will. If something happen, I'm just gonna crash hard. But mostly, that's people who win. Those
right.
are people who win.
Yeah.
And I'm more into the middle. I'm like, I'm gonna go fast, and then if something happen, I'm gonna try to survive.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like find a way to survive. And I'm like, okay, I go out of control, but I'm gonna still keep a bit of space to try to escape.
Yeah.
So that's more in the zone I'm staying.
Yeah. Well, and that's the question. Like, you know, like for me, if I'm going to make a podcast or I'm going to make a movie or a song, I'll prepare first. I'll do lots of preparation. I'll study, you know, what are the steps that I'm going to take? What am I making? Now, how do you prepare for one of these race courses? Do you write it first, you know, so that you remember the track? How do you do that?
So when you do urban downhill,
Yeah.
you have a track walk. So you go through the whole course by walk. As you can see, dangerous place where you have no chance to crash, or like if you crash, you're gonna die. So if there's some place you are like, okay, I'm gonna take care of this one. I'm gonna be careful. And then you have this one, and then after you have 1 day of training, and then the day after that's the course.
Okay, that's really interesting. So you have a walkthrough for safety, and you're just walking the whole course, and then a day of practice, a day of going, and you get to kind of trial runs, and then the race day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever still feel nervous when you're racing?
Every time. That's
Every
what
time?
keeps you alive.
Yeah.
I mean, depends. If I go on something, I don't care. I'm just having fun with friends. But as I always try to push myself and give 100% of myself, I don't care about the place I'm gonna finish. That's the thing with me, and that's why I do videos. I'm like, it's important to do good place, but the most important is to give 100% or more of what you can.
Yeah.
And that's it. For me, it's the most important.
Yeah. My wife is a singer, and she sings songs, and you know, there's an interesting point. Like, she just made a new song that she loved it. It was written by this really good writer, and we were commenting about it. Like, as a singer, she can make things that people like, and she can go for likes, or she can make things that she's happy with and believes in. You know what I mean? And she's like, do you do this just because you want to make people happy, or, you know, get that, you know, here's my trophy, or do you do it because you want to be better? You want to be, you know what I mean? And like, it's kind of like, are you focusing on the outward stuff or the inward stuff? You know what I mean? And it's
if I was focusing on the outward stuff, I would want to be first.
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah,
but
I don't care like if people like or not what I'm doing. When I'm doing video projects, I do it for myself.
Exactly.
And I post it. And but I put my full of my spirit in it, like full of my energy.
Yes.
And then people like it, but that's cool. I am happy they like it. But if they don't like it,
It's okay.
I
It's
still
okay.
love to do it. I
Yep.
still liked it when I did it, and I spent good times with some people doing it. So yeah, that's it. For sure, it's always better for the job when it's working, but
Yeah.
it's not the final conclusion. If it's not
The-
working, I still did it.
exactly. It's about, you know, like this podcast, right? You know, it's I'm building it. This is something that I'm developing, and as I'm building it, I'm not getting 100 million views on each video. But that doesn't
You
matter
don't
to me.
care. You're having fun, meeting people,
That's it.
and having good
Yes.
times.
Yes, I get
It's
to have
always
these.
better than sitting in front of a screen and watching movies you already seen 3 times. And
Right.
just doing new stuff, having new objective. But if you don't
Yeah.
have objective in life, you have nothing.
Yeah. I'm making friends. And I get to talk to these
Yeah.
really interesting people that tell me. And like that's the thing, right? Every video that I make, I grow because I hear another person's story, and that gives me courage to try things. I'm going to tell you, do you know a dream that I've had since I was a kid? I've dreamt about wingsuit flying. So even before it was there, I dreamt about it. I would dream about climbing to the top of a hill. And this is a dream that I've had hundreds, thousands of times. I'm standing at the top of the hill and I run and I jump and I just coast with my body and I get into positions. And I was like, and I've every day, not every day, but every time I have that dream, I sit there and tell myself, I have to learn how to skydive. I have to learn how to skydive. I have to learn how to base jump. I have to learn how to wingsuit fly at some point in time. Because if I don't, and I have that dream that's in there, that's in deep inside me,
You will have regret.
I will regret it. I will regret it if I don't ever do it someday. And I mean, maybe I'm not going to become a professional.
Is doing whatever you like every day, and then one day sadly you have an accident and hurt yourself or even die, but you always been doing what you like, or always pushing stuff, and then one day you can't do with anything anymore. Say, if I knew I would do it, or if no, I don't want to have this life. I want the life that's if something happened tomorrow, I did what I wanted.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It was a beautiful life. And that's what, there are people who are 90, but they have hardly lived. And there are people who are, 20, and they've lived a million lifetimes. And I think that's the thing. Like, are you really living? Or are you just taking up space? You know what I mean?
I'm like fucking living. I love it. I've been like traveling a lot since COVID. Before COVID, I was traveling everywhere, every time. I did so many countries.
Yeah.
Like all my friends were like, "Hey, dude, you have no real job, nothing." I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking traveling everywhere. I love it." Like, I guess at the point I am now, like I was 26.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, even when you will stop working and start traveling, you won't have time to do the travel I did, and I am 26.
Yeah.
So what's the best? Having a lot of money you can't use because you have no time, or not having money and doing what you love?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and I think when people watch what you are doing, they get uncomfortable because it makes them, question, am I doing the right thing? Or should I, try something? Should I be doing this too? Am I really happy, working my 9 to 5 every day, and then that suddenly you hit, 60 and the company's like, well, we're done. It's like, wow. Where did you
that's
go?
For those people that I'm doing videos. I mean, like, I'm living my life.
Mm-hmm.
I do whatever I love, but if I go through and if I put everything on video, it's to show people. That's why I do 15-second videos always, People have
Yeah.
no time to spend like 20 minutes to watch stuff now. But
Yeah.
I know when they stopping working, they gonna swipe, and at one point they gonna see me base jumping. Like, oh, that's so cool. And then they're gonna have like 15 seconds of not thinking about the hard time they had today, or like that
Yeah.
I don't know, they're in a bad mood at the moment. They just enjoying the video during 15 seconds, and if I can do it, I'm stoked. If they forget their life for 15 seconds, I'm so stoked. That's why I put
Yeah.
everything on video. It's that people would are asking themselves like, I'm doing the right thing or not. Like that's for this.
Yeah.
Not to push them to change their life, just to bring them some good moment.
Yeah. But I think if you give them enough good moments, it can lift them up out of that heaviness, and they can see that they have options. Because I think that people forget. We forget, all of us forget that you have an option. You know what I mean? You can always.
I think for me, it's just human is getting too much addiction.
I think that's a
It's
truth.
just because when you have a normal job, every month a good salary, like
Yeah.
every Monday you have this program, every Tuesday you do this, Wednesday you do this, and that's this every day, all
Yeah.
week, same in the weekend, seeing the same person, and then you are in a circle and you're like, I am chill. That's rolling
It's
good.
comfort.
I don't wanna move anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like when you have your feet is hurting. At the beginning, you're like, and then your body gonna start. Okay, it's okay. That's hurt myself, but I'm not gonna stop living. And then you start
Yeah.
just forgetting the pain, but the pain is still here. And
Yeah.
that's this. The human can fit to any good any situation, and then don't do anything to change it.
Yeah. It's so true. You see people that will suffer in a bad job, in a bad
They're
situation.
never gonna do anything to change it.
They won't, and they'll just stay. And I remember, I'm bad at this too. I worked at the worst. I remember when I was living in Los Angeles, I worked at the worst school in LA. It was a horrible school. And my boss would hide. She had a window, and she would pull it and watch it as I taught class. She would just watch me, and I was like, why are you staring at me? What am I doing wrong? But she'd watch me, and I'd feel so nervous because I would always see this little eye peeking through her window, and I was like, gosh, this is so awkward, right? But I stayed with the job because it paid. And it was, I would go there, it was easy enough, and I would come home. But I hated it.
But
I finally got fired. I finally got fired.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have this job to? Did you add a goal after it, or it was just because the situation was good? Because I can understand people doing this.
It was the situation was good.
And they're like,
it was
okay,
for me. Well, I did have a goal. It was simply to make money while I was pursuing my other job. That was my dream job, and I was trying.
Now that's a good reason.
Yeah,
that's a good reason to be like making money to accomplish your goal. For me, that's a good reason to do something you don't like.
That's truth. That is truth. Because you're right. If you are, because then it becomes kind of like a necessary sacrifice. You're putting yourself into this situation so that you can have a better situation. But I still feel like, the little mouse on the wheel, and the wheel just goes and it doesn't go forward. I think sometimes we have to reevaluate, is this spinning getting you any closer to your goal? Because for me, it was good though. But when I got fired, it was the best luck ever. It was wonderful. I was like, oh wow, I'm free. Whew. So sometimes we got to make those changes, right? Now, what are some of your goals that you have? What would you like to accomplish with your mountain biking and base jumping?
I don't know, but just
No,
the dream I had.
let me rephrase that, because that sounds too much like work. Like you said, for the goal for the base jumping was eventually to get to wingsuit flying.
Yeah.
Like you really would like to go wingsuit flying. Now, do you have any, like, and I'm not trying to say what races do you want to win, more like, do you have any places that you would like to go ride? You know, do you have any dream locations that you would like to ride or something like that?
I've been riding a lot of places, but I have some, but I can't speak about it. That's my next video project.
Then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll check back after that video is done. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. I have few places that are gonna come, but that's insane stuff coming.
That's awesome.
But
That's
I don't
awesome.
know. It's more about base jumping. It's since I'm kids, I'm watching buildings and places, and I'm like, one day I will jump from there.
Nice.
And
Very cool.
that's why I'm like, I don't know, like it's not accomplish something. It's just having the life I want and having sensation, like having like adrenaline. I don't know why. It's like, and that's good. At the moment, I'm living from what I like from what I always wanted to do, like doing sport, having sensation, and like I get to this point at the moment. I'm like, I was speaking about it to my friends the other day, and like, I don't take holidays.
No.
Because if I take holidays, on my holiday, I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I'm doing every day.
That's my point. Anyone who's like, I'm going to take a vacation, I'm going to, like, if I'm taking a vacation, I'm taking my camera because I want to share that. You know, I'm going to be filming that. I'm going to be doing something I can share. And like, I have so much fun with my podcast and my video production that I enjoy it. I don't want to take days off, you know? Certainly, I like spending time with my family, but I do that anyways. Even on my days that I work, I have a lot of time with my family. So
it's the same. There is no Monday, Sunday, or anything. It just, like, I was building just before coming for this podcast, I was building a kicker for my next project, and we're on Sunday. There's no problem.
Right.
Like, I just adapt sometimes when I want to see friends or stuff because that's the weekend or the week, so I adapt to them. Yeah. But for myself, there is no day. I'm just doing project, no matter what day we are.
Now, if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice, to give your younger self some advice, what type of advice would you give yourself?
Don't care about what other people think, and always wear pads and helmets.
That's a good one.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's small stuff. I don't wear, but like always wear it. Now I try to always wear it.
Mm-hmm. There's a page on Instagram called Wicked Slams, and every time I watch that, it's like I watch that page and I'm just like, yeah, man, I always wear a helmet. I always wear a helmet.
That's so important in mountain bike and in base jump as well. Like people think like if it do not open, you're gonna die. Yes, but if I am under the wing and then I get into a tree, can save my life.
Right? Yeah, exactly, man. And
that's why you wear a helmet.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And it's just like, don't care what people think, but you know, the helmet is also a representation of to just not to be careful, but to think, plan ahead, to have a plan. You know what I mean? And I always love the idea of the American Navy SEALs, right? Because the Navy SEALs have a philosophy. Like, before those guys go on a mission, they sit there and make a checklist. Everything that could go wrong. They go, all right, what are all the things that can go wrong? And they prepare for it. So when they go onto their mission, anything that happens, they've already prepared.
They need it.
They already know. They have anything that could happen. They have a plan for it. And, and they're just there. And then because when something bad happens, they're like, oh, okay. And they handle it, whatever it is, Oh, we don't have, the door's locked, Okay, well, we've got, a lock cutter or some type of explosive that they blow the door open. But, like, they plan for it. And it's not like they are worried. It's not about worrying. It's about simple preparation that you can look at the situation and go, what am I going to need? I think that's always a good idea. Now,
being prepared to any bad situation is most important. So I do it when I do a dangerous line in mountain bike. I always do it. That can go wrong there. If I go there, what are my escape? Okay, this or this. If I go there, what am I escape? This or this.
That's really interesting. Now, when you look at a line, so when you're looking at you're at the top of the hill and you're looking down this hill, how do you pick your lines? How do you pick your route down the mountain? Is it instinct?
No, it depends. Sometimes. How to say it? Depends if it's a track already done. Sometimes you just need to follow it, or if it's a full open face, like in snowboard, by example, like a full powder field. You just go everywhere, and then that's the same in mountain bike. Sometimes that's like big sand field, and then you just go like
awesome.
And you're having fun.
That's awesome, man. Now, if I had like Aladdin's lamp, the genie lamp, and it popped out, what would you wish for?
I have the life I want. So,
awesome.
Dude, like I have nothing. Just make my friend. I mean, like I have the life I want. Like do something for friends.
It's awesome. It's really awesome. That question, I throw it in there. People are like, that's a fun question, and but it's a tricky question because the reality is, are you happy with your life? The question is like, really, like, are you happy or do you want to change something in your life? And because and there's not a ton of people who answer, no, I don't really need anything. I don't want to wish for anything. I've had only 2 people. I've asked that question a lot of people. I've only had 2 people, you and another person, who said, I'm good, man. That's special.
That's the thing, dude. Like, I don't like crazy stuff. Look, I'm living my life, having good times, and like cool people like you like text me and do you want to do podcast? I'm like, if I have time, for sure, let's do it.
Right.
And I'm like always saying yes, for sure, not to stupid stuff like stupid action. Like sometimes there is some bad move or stuff you don't say yes, but I'm the kind of guy who always try to say yes.
I love that.
Let's do this or let's do this. But since I started this, I'm feeling so good. And if I can come back on the question you asked me,
please.
Like on what I would say to myself before, it's like you can say no to some people, and you can stop a relation with some people. It's you don't have to be like you don't have to follow these people because it's is famous or is doing good stuff or he did this, so if you do this, you're gonna have the same. Do your way.
Yeah.
That's maybe not gonna change anything. But I've been like doing stuff with people and not even I was going there not even wanted, just I knew I wouldn't have fun, but I was like, okay, there is a training, I go there because I need to train, and if he can learn me some, he can teach me something. And I always finished, I was like not spending good times, and then I didn't learn anything because I was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And then I skip those people of my life, and I'm feeling so good now. Like,
That's awesome.
I'm like, just you can't say no. You can say no to people. No, don't be afraid to say no to people.
Yeah. And I think you also pointed out there a really important point. It's paying attention to how people make you feel. You know, are you surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, or are you surrounding yourself with people who push you down? You know, I remember.
No, how are you surrounding yourself
Go ahead.
with people who show you they lift you up, but they just like show you this, and then as soon as they can, they lift you down.
You got to be careful. Those are dangerous ones. Right?
Appearance, social, like appearance. It's just about appearance, and like we are living in a society that is full of appearance.
Yep.
That's why people like always do videos like they're filming themselves on phones. They want to have rewards. They want people recognize them.
Mm-hmm. That's
like, I don't do it in my videos. I don't care if people recognize me. I want people like love what I do. But people never recognize me. I never put my face.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to point that out. Like when you logged onto the call, I was like, oh, that's what you look like. Because in all of your videos, I don't see your face. And I was going to ask you about that. It's about, for your videos, it's about the action, not about you.
Yeah. I don't want, it's like, I don't want to put me in front of the camera. I don't want people to recognize me, or I don't care. Like for sure in a podcast like this, people are going to see my face. But, I don't have to. And that's why, like, when I say, like, I want people have good times watching my videos, even if they don't like me, they can have good times watching my videos because I'm not gonna be in front. And that's something I say to my sponsor. It's like, I don't put myself in video. I'm gonna put your product, like I'm gonna how to say, I'm gonna show your product, not me in front of your product.
Yeah. That's awesome. You know, and I think the other thing that's really special about that, because when I watched your video and I didn't see any face, I can imagine that it's me. You know, I can imagine that, hey, maybe this is me.
That's
maybe
why I do this.
Yeah.
That's why I filmed POV's video.
Yeah.
That's because I just wanna share like my feelings, share my passion and everything. I don't want people to see me having fun. I want people like, oh, that's so good.
Right. That's awesome.
Like, yeah.
That's some deep wisdom right there, man. You're doing a great job. And I think this is something I was talking about the other day. We need more people to be putting out content that makes people feel good. Because there's a lot of people that put out stuff that makes people feel horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we look at the media, in the news and stuff, it's depressing. And sometimes, you know, if we can just remember one simple thing, I am alive. And every single day that I'm alive is a day I should celebrate being alive. If you have, you know, like my daughter, when I'm done here, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to go up and give her the biggest hug. Because I love her. And, you know, every single day is precious. When you have a kid, that child is precious. When you have a partner, that person is precious. Because you don't know. Something can be taken away from you like this in life. And you have to remember that.
Yes. But you have to make a long way to understand this.
Yeah.
Like people need to make a long way to understand this.
But one of the beauties about like sports like, downhill mountain biking or base jumping is that the people that do these sports remember that life has danger, and you don't get scared of it, but you remember it. And I think that other people tend to forget that. You're driving across the city, you're in your car, and it doesn't feel dangerous. And because it doesn't feel dangerous, you don't remember that you're alive,
And that's why sometimes people do stupid action. By example, happened to me, some guy were taking risk doing base jumping, like on some easy stuff. And I was like, what's the point? We are already doing like so much stuff dangerous. Like, let's do this the safest way as possible. But it's gonna be the same risk, but just not gonna be stupid.
Yep, exactly. And I think that's the danger. If people don't remember they're alive, they do start taking risks. And that could be the guy who's, and like you touched on addiction, and I think that that's a huge point, like, because I do think there's a ton of things that people are addicted to. And I think that comes from because we often forget how beautiful life is and that we are alive to enjoy it,
Yeah.
Well,
We're having good time every day, and we have to make things that make you happy, make us happy every day.
Have to.
Like simple stuff, like it don't need to cost something. Just if you love reading, go read a book.
You're right.
I love enjoying sunsets, and then I just go by walk behind my house on the highest cliff, and then I watch the sunset. Cost me nothing, zero.
I have a good example of this. I got really sick in 2007. I don't know what it was. I had like some really bad flu. It was really bad, and it went in and affected my heart. And I got better, but one of the side effects of that was my body developed really bad food allergies. Before this illness, I could eat anything, and I love food. I love food. After this, I couldn't eat anything. Now, all my body lets me eat is rice, beans, a little bit of meat, and vegetables. That's it. That's my diet, is rice, beans, meat, and lots of different veggies. But still, even there, I have limitations. I can't eat potato chips or fried food or hamburgers or pizza. So do you know what brings me joy? Simple. Bread. I love it. For a long time, I couldn't eat bread because, I love bread. And this simple bread, like when I get a fresh loaf of bread and I smell it and then I taste it, and it's one of the things that brings me joy, because before I could eat everything, and now I find joy in the simple things, whether it be a sunset or a delicious drink. Because when you lose everything, when you lose your ability to eat all of these foods, suddenly you have to still find joy in the little things. And so for me,
it's like briefing.
Right?
Now we are like, okay, and then we like, that's normal. And then tomorrow you're gonna get a cold. Then you're like speaking like this, and then you can't breathe from the nose, and then you're like, and then the day after oh, that's feeling so good, and then the day after you forget that breathing is an awesome feeling,
right?
Because it starts being normal.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and this is especially true with after COVID. I think COVID, the one good thing about COVID was that people were woken up. We could travel, we could do this, but suddenly people couldn't. And then now that they can again, they're like, wow, This is special. You know what I mean? Live music is a special thing. And we appreciate it more. Even being able to spend time with your friends is a special thing, you know, that we take for granted. But now that we recognize it,
helped a lot of people to take their life in good hand. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this now.
yep. And
That's some good stuff.
that's at least one good thing that came from it, man. Well, I really, really appreciate your time today and this conversation.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, man. If you ever want to come back on, you are always welcome.
Man, like, do not hesitate if, like, on any project I'm doing, like, if you wanna stuff straight after it went out,
I'd love
feel
to.
free. I have some stuff coming, like, early January.
Awesome. Well,
If
then
you
I will look
wanna-
forward to it. I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to talk
Do not
about it.
hesitate. Like, always have time to spend time with good people like you. And thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I
And
appreciate
for
your
the
time.
talk.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
and I keep saying this is I enter these podcasts with a stranger and I leave with a friend. And that to me is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, you know. You can't talk to someone for an hour and not end up friends. So, thank you for your
Yeah,
time.
it's like exchange.
Right?
It's really good to. That's why I always say say yes to podcasts, because every podcast I did, it was really like a good experience, and like
That's
good
awesome.
to start with people about something, and I'm always able to say what I want to, like kids, by example, for me, like wear helmet, wear pads, wear stuff,
Yeah.
because it's important for me. And yeah, that's one of the stuff I love doing. But that's one of the stuff why I love doing podcast.
That's awesome.